Activating broadcasting sequence. Don't adjust your dial. You're listening to WFCK Radio. Discover the power half hour with On the Spot with Preacher and the Spaniard. Welcome everyone and all species to the hottest voices in the morning. Your lover's favorite voice to wake up to in the morning. Here's your hosts, Preacher and the Spaniard.
With Preacher and the Spaniard.
There, now you can hear me. Okay. It's Monday. That's right. So we are back. Another new week. Oh man. It feels like a Monday for me. It just does. I had a very long weekend. I was actually off this Saturday, which was an interesting change of pace for me. But Sunday was really, really busy for me. So I want to thank you guys for being here. And good morning. If you are here, please let me know. Give me a shout out in the chat. I will try to get to them as soon as I possibly can. But anyway, hello. Taking a look outside right now, it is 25 degrees. That's Fahrenheit for all of you European listeners. We're going to get up to a high of 34 in the Chicagoland area with a low tonight of 20. And a high tomorrow of 46. Wednesday's looking at 50 degrees. We're looking at sun for most of the week. I'm so happy now. Oh, I'm done with cold temperatures. I really am. I'm just done with cold temperatures. We're now in the 50s. And I know it's all a lie. I know we're probably going to get hit again. I know we're probably going to get hit again with this, just terrible, ugh. But anyway, how are you guys doing? What's it like in your neck of the woods? So this is just weird. I don't know. We're living in a weird time right now. Yeah. So how do I put this? We're going to talk a little bit of politics, a little bit of culture, and just ask the questions. What the heck is going on here? That's really what's going on for our show today. But what the heck is going on in our country? I'm just asking, okay? I know I don't want to make this into a Monday motivation thing. I don't want this to be I don't want to take away from Ogre. By the way, listen tonight, 8 p.m. Central Time. Right? No, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Ogre's Monday Motivation tonight. As you can see, I am sans Spaniard. The reason for that, quite simply, is he has a goat that is about to give birth any day now, and he's got to keep an eye on her. She's looking like she's close, so again, you got me, but hopefully he'll be back shortly. I know. He's the main attraction. I'm just the side dish. I got it. But anyway, so taking a look at our news for today and a little bit of weirdness going on. So last night, and the thing that everybody seems to be talking about is Trump's speech at Cpac, okay? He did a couple of different things that, well, to be honest, it was a mixed bag, okay? I'm going to put it out there. It was a mixed bag. He kept hitting his election fraud stories and stuff like that. And to a certain extent, if you're going to go with perspective, then he lost the election in his perspective the only way he could say so, which is, well, we should have won, but we didn't win because they cheated. Because we should have won. Whatever. Okay. But here's the thing. You need to be discerning enough to say, did he or didn't he? What's he spouting? This is the bill of goods. What is the bill of goods that are being sold? So, and I'm going to put it that way. Okay. Because you know what you're going to get with Trump. You've seen him for 4 years. You know what you're going to get with him. But here's a couple of things that, well, I'll go into this. So he calls out a few other people. He called out especially Biden. Biden reversing a lot of policies, getting us back into the Paris Climate Agreement, going back into the WHO, changing immigration laws, still keeping kids behind bars, by the way. None of this stuff has really changed. He just decided to hit on a few things, but he called out Republicans too. He called out the Republicans that were against him. Now, he wants to have a united party, a galvanized party. I understand that. I get where he's coming from. Because, and he even said this, he said he is not going to create a conservative party. He is not going to create a third party, which will split the vote and then the Democrats will always win. That's what he said. He said it makes no sense to do that. We need to unite the party instead. So that's what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and do it under his leadership. You know, he called out McConnell. He called out a couple other people that were like, look, you still didn't, I was still acquitted the second time I was impeached because it was a political move. It wasn't actually done. But yeah, whatever. But that was his big shebang last night. The other main thing in the news. Oh boy, I'm sorry for having issues with my eye, but I don't know what in the world is going on here. I'm just, I don't know if it's an eyelash or what's going on. Anyway, having issues this morning. It's a Monday, which, by the way, happy March 1st. That's right. We're no longer in February. It is March 1st. But anyway, let's talk about being playful. That's right. Governor Cuomo. That's right. Governor Cuomo, the governor of New York, attempted to explain his past interactions with staffers as the embattled Democrat is facing multiple accusations of sexual harassment from former staffers, particularly of the female persuasion. Questions have been raised, according to a press release that he released yesterday. Here's what he says. Questions have been raised about some of my past interactions with people in the office. I never intended to offend anyone or cause any harm. I spend most of my life at work, and colleagues are often also personal friends. At work, sometimes I think I am being playful and make jokes that I think are funny. I do, on occasion, tease people in what I think is a good-natured way. The governor explained, I do it in public and private. You have seen me do it at briefings hundreds of times. I've teased people about their personal lives or relationships, about getting married or not getting married. I mean, no offense, and only attempt to add some levity and banter to what is a very serious business. Maybe you shouldn't be surrounding yourself with personal friends then. Maybe you should be, I don't know, surrounding yourself with experts in certain situations and, being the right person for the job. Just saying, but yeah. Anywho's it's, yeah. Just, anyway. But Cuomo has been accused by multiple staffers, former staffers, of sexual harassment and other illicit behavior. He finally announced yesterday that he would support the appointment of an independent special investigator to examine the claims against him. That has been an ongoing issue that he has had, where he kind of says, these are false. Why would we need a special investigator? It's, to be honest, it's the same thing that Trump had said, but there'd been no pushback previously. Now there's pushback. Same thing here. Oh, no, okay, yeah, sure. Meh. Here's the thing: it either clears your name or drops you down the garbage disposal. Other political news. There's only a couple left. Virginia joins 15 under. Words are hard. Virginia joins 15 other states in legalizing marijuana. That's right. The Virginia legislature approved adult use marijuana legalization Saturday in a historic vote, marking the first state in the Old South to represent or to embrace full legalization. The Senate approved it in a 2019 vote. The House passed the measure in a 48-43 vote. Not a single Republican voted for the bill in either chamber. According to Delegate Charnel Herring, sponsor of the legalization bill, and the Democratic majority leader said on the floor, "To me, this is a justice bill. While it has flaws and it is not the perfect bill, I think it moves us a step in the right direction." So what does this essentially mean? Virginia is the 16th U.S. state to pass an adult use marijuana legalization law. Although sales will not start until 2024, only 2 other states, Illinois and Vermont, have passed legislation to legalize, tax, and regulate recreational marijuana through the legislature. The move puts pressure on neighboring states such as Maryland when an adult use legalization bill got its first hearing this month. New Jersey also recently enacted legalization after voters overwhelmingly backed a referendum in November. Yeah, and the Democratic governor, Ralph Northam, has actually championed legalization as a racial justice issue. Is that racist? Just asking. Yeah. If you're gonna say that, legalizing marijuana is a racial justice issue, is that a racist statement in and of itself? Just a question. But anyway, we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk about somewhere else's politics right now before we get into the culture side of things. UN agencies say that at least 18 are dead as the Myanmar police ramp up use of force on protesters after a military coup. So Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, between like Bangladesh and India is where it is. That's probably the best way I can put it. Actually, no, I take that back. It wouldn't be Bangladesh. It would be like Bangladesh and Thailand on either side of it. It's over by India, Southeast Asia, that area. So security forces fired on demonstrators, made mass arrests on Sunday as they sought to break up protests against the military seizure of power. So there was a king and a moderate representational government in Myanmar. They said, however, that it was getting too corrupt. And so the military leaders decided that they were going to coup. Deaths reportedly occurred as a result of live ammunition fired into crowds in Yangon, Dawei, Mandalay, Mewak, Bago, and Pakuku. The United Nations Human Rights Office said in a statement referring to several cities. It also said the forces used tear gas, flashbangs, and stun grenades. We strongly condemn the escalating violence against protests in Myanmar and call on the military to immediately halt the use of force against peaceful protesters. The Democratic Voice of Burma reported that as of 5 p.m. in Myanmar, there had been 19 confirmed deaths in 9 cities and 10 unconfirmed. The independent media company broadcasts on satellite and digital television, as well as online. So there were 5 deaths in Yangon, 2 in Mandalay, the largest and second largest cities. It also reported 5 deaths in Dawei, and has seen tens of thousands of protesters in nearly every city since the coup. So there are, it's pretty bad. So this has been going on for a few weeks now. There was a democratically elected leader, prime minister, and that's right, Aung San Suu Kyi, was arrested, placed under house arrest by the military coup, essentially. But according to the Assistance Association of Political Prisoners, as of Saturday, 854 people had been arrested, charged, or sentenced in relation to the coup, and 771 were detained or sought for arrest. So again, we're talking over 1,000 people just in this weekend. Yeah. So, done with the whole political thing. Let's shift over to culture. I want to ask you this question. Just quite simply ask you this question. Why is Mr. Potato Head in the crosshairs? Why? Just why? I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. I just don't get it. Oh man. Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, and Baby Potato Head will no longer be labeled in a gender-specific way. The Potato Head brand name and logo are dropping the Mr. However, there is a small Mr. or a small Mrs. still on the box. They don't want to, offend people yet, or they're trying not to, But there have been Twitter has been particularly ruthless in this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Please comment if you have. But yes, oh boy. Yeah. The tweet came after the news of a brand name exploded on Twitter, with people asking if Barbie will change her name next. Another person tweeted, I think Hasbro needs to drop the bro and just be Has, or change their name to Has Been. Another person tweeted, Hasbro appears to want to have it both ways, expand the brand while not killing off its most iconic characters, which appeared in the Toy Story films. They're looking to broaden the franchise, according to the founder of marketing consultancy Brand Keys. You take the focus of what is essentially one character and allow it to be a platform for many characters. Blah, 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 blah. GLAAD, GLAAD, an LGBTQ advocacy group, applauded the more inclusive potato playset. Hasbro is helping kids to simply see toys as toys, which encourages them to be their authentic selves outside the pressures of traditional gender norms. Many toy makers have been updating the classic brands in recent years, hoping to relate to today's kids and reflect more modern families. It's a potato, but kids like to see themselves in the toys that they are playing with. Barbie, for example, has tried to shed its blonde image and now comes in multiple skin tones and body shapes. The Thomas the Tank Engine toy added more girl characters, and American Girl is now selling a boy doll. Mr. Potato Head first hit the toy scene in 1952 when it didn't even come with a plastic potato. Kids had to supply their own vegetable to poke eyes, a nose, or mustache into. Hasbro, which also makes Monopoly and My Little Pony, bought the brand and eventually added a plastic spud with preset determinations on where you could put things, which was hilarious as a child when I had a Mr. Potato Head and you decide to put his eyes where his feet should be, his nose where his eyes should be, and his mustache upside down, making eyebrows, essentially. They're children. They're going to play with toys. It's a toy. We know this. We have this understanding. But why mess with it? I'm just asking. Why mess with it? It just... Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the way I see things. And please comment if there's a genuine thing here. But are you kidding me? Seriously, this makes no sense to me. This really doesn't make sense to me. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's see. Let's continue. Yeah. Let's see if there's a couple other things. A little bit of sports news, but not much. So Baylor was number 2. They are now number 3. Michigan is actually number 2 now, but Gonzaga still remains number 1 with their perfect record at 24-0 in college basketball. Which, by the way, interestingly enough, basketball's coming up. Like March Madness is coming up in like a couple weeks. So happy March. Yeah. So let's see. There was something else. I was looking for, there was something I was going to talk to you about. I wanted to get positive news. There was some positive news I wanted to see. Let's see. There was something. Ah, yes, here. Okay. So, interestingly enough, there is a camera, an orbiter over Mars right now that has been spinning, it's been rotating around, taking pictures of the planet's surface. And the ExoMars, what is it called? The Trace Gas Orbiter, which is part of the ExoMars program, has been able to take pictures of the Perseverance rover. It's pretty cool. So, since 2016, the TGO has orbited Mars and gathered vital data on the composition of its atmosphere. Specifically, TGO has been looking for traces of atmospheric methane and other gases that could be a result of geological or biological activity. These efforts are part of a larger effort to determine if life existed on Mars billions of years ago. Now, and well, whether or not it still does, that's the other part of this. In addition, the orbiter has conducted other important scientific operations like relaying data. On February 23rd, the TGO actually took advantage of its orbit to snap pictures with its color and stereo surface imaging system, or CASIS, that showed the Perseverance rover, as well as its parachute, heat shield, and descent stage elements within the J0 crater. The first image, in the first image pictured, the elements are discernible as a series of dark and bright pixels, which are then clarified in further images that the rover took. You can see two smaller craters, while the parachute and back shell are visibly bright spots in close proximity to each other near them. The Perseverance rover near the bottom of the center is a relatively faint spot by a small ridge leading from one crater in particular. So it's pretty cool to see that Perseverance will stay in this pretty centralized area for the next couple of years, which most likely will be extended, searching for signs of past microbial life based on its features, which include a preserved river delta and clay-rich sedimentary deposits. The Jezero crater is known to have hosted a standing body of water billions of years ago. At least they believe it had. Again, we don't exactly have confirmational proof of that, but however, an orbiter will be able to pick up samples from the rover and bring them home for analysis. It believes that it will be the first samples collected from Mars to make it back to Earth. So very interesting. Very, very interesting today. Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to share with you guys other than Spaniard's goat stories? Instead of ghost stories, Spaniard has goat stories. So, hopefully he will be back on Friday. I don't know if he's going to be back on Wednesday, but he should be back on Friday. We'll see. But yes, he is dealing with his goat this morning. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, that's right. I wanted to. Yes, here it is. So some uplifting news today, some happy news today. Yeah, this is just it's cool. So where is it? I was just looking for this. This one here. Okay, so there's pretty cool things. So there is a photographer who finds local shelters and finds the dogs that are there and the puppies that are there, and he has a new book coming out. It's a sequel. So what's the guy's name? Photographer Greg Murray decided that he was going to produce a photography book called Peanut Butter Dogs. He released it in 2017, and he released a new book called Peanut Butter Puppies. It showcases puppies licking peanut butter off their faces. For the project, around 30 animal shelters and rescue organizations in Northeast Ohio brought adoptable or recently adopted puppies to Murray's photography studio in Cleveland, though one woman drove a puppy all the way from Texas for the shoot, because of course. Featured puppies range in age from 8 weeks to 12 months. Murray is thrilled that all of them have since found forever homes. To give back, the book's publisher, Gibbs Smith, is donating $1 from every pre-sale of the book made before March 16. So look up Peanut Butter Puppies if you're interested. It is a good table book, coffee table book. $1 of every pre-sale is going to a rescue organization, as long as you order it before March 16. And they will split the money equally between 3 of the rescue organizations. Some of these pictures are absolutely adorable. So, but there's another one that we're going to take a look at. Another great, good news, good feeling story. So there was a woman, Rachel Sullivan, who likes to troll Instagram, just like many other people that like to look around Instagram. What she didn't know is that her husband had a secret Instagram account. Now, when you hear secret Instagram account, many people are going to say, whoa, what do we got going on here? Is it an OnlyFans thing? Is it something else? Is it, what's going on? Well, no, it was on the people you may know section. It said Tom Sullivan at Meals She Eats. And he was wondering, well, who is this she? She clicked on the photos in the account, and Rachel said she was touched. Each image in Tom's feed contained photos of recipes of food he's been cooking for her for the last year to help regulate her hormones. She went to the doctor for a checkup, and her hormone levels came back all out of whack, and she had cysts near her ovaries. She explained, that's when I was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome. They recommend you do a gluten and dairy-free diet, and Tom went full force into it. So he's been making things like miso soup and greens and a whole bunch of other stuff. Tom, who has been an enthusiastic home cook for the last 11 years, said he started his Instagram account as a way to save a record of the recipes he cooks, since he often reads through a few different recipes, then combines them with his own cooking style to create a final dish. Tom said, I have all these recipes everywhere. An Instagram page just seemed like an easy place to organize them. It was for when Rachel would say, hey, what was that meal that you made here? Or when friends would ask Rachel, what Rachel posted on our Instagram and ask for the recipe. Tom's recipes all take inspiration from the book Woman Code by Alyssa Vitti, which contains a list of foods women should eat during each part of their menstrual cycle to naturally regulate their hormones. Whether it's black-eyed peas during the luteal phase or lamb while ovulating, Tom follows the list of foods and cooks meals designed to help Rachel feel her best. There are a few pictures in this article of it, and there are some awesome ones in here. Everything from like weird, singing in the kitchen to shiitake tofu miso soup. A little bit of dates with bacon tacos and gyro style tacos as well. And again, full recipes are in these things. They're awesome. A bowl of oats with yogurt it appears to be yogurt, some seeds, a little bit of peanut butter or other nut butter, and just some cool things. So for now, the couple said that they will continue eating Women Code style meals, focusing on seasonal foods from their local farmers market and making go-to dishes like roasted sheet pan vegetables and bowls filled with whatever ingredients Vitti recommends for Rachel's particular phase in her cycle. So it is cool. So hopefully you find some inspiration. And you know what, as we go on today, as we get wrapped up here, yeah, this is kind of cool. You know what, maybe find that special someone that you have in your life, and maybe it's your dog, maybe it's your cat, but maybe you just need to spend a day, 2 days, 3 days, figure out what they like, figure out what's interesting them, and maybe make a day about them, maybe take a day, just a normal day, and say, you know what, we're going to take this day and make it about you. I mean, I like to make this show about you guys whenever you're watching. I hope you watch regularly. I hope you are here. And I hope you are commenting. Unfortunately, for some reason, I cannot see the comments. I don't know why. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and hug a loved one. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you very much. And remember, keep it tight. Preacher out. Have a great week, guys. See you Wednesday.